This is a ribbon snake, a non-venomous snake native to North America. They eat small prey such as earthworms, frogs, and fish, as you can see here. They can grow up to 35 inches in length, with females being larger. A cool thing about them is that they give live birth. This is a cockatiel, one of the most common pet birds. It is a type of parrot native to Australia. They're generally good-natured and they can be taught to whistle tunes and melodies. They generally live to be around 15 to 20 years. One of my favorite things about them are their feathered crests on their heads. These are baby leopard geckos. Unlike the arboreal geckos that you see climbing up walls, these are terrestrial geckos. They prefer terrestrial enclosures with rocks and logs that they can hide underneath. They're insectivores and eat a variety of bugs like crickets, mealworms, and dubia roaches. The other day we had this special animal visit us. It's not a raccoon, it's actually a Coati mundi. These guys are native to Mexico, Central America, and South America. They are omnivores, eating a variety of invertebrates, fruits, and other small prey. They have a great sense of smell and use their nose to forage. This is a crevice spiny lizard, native to the United States and Mexico. An interesting behavior is that they will play dead. This one here is perfectly fine, he's just a really good actor. You can tell that this one is a male due to the blue scales on his belly. He's owned by my friend Zoe and Renee's zoo, so be sure to follow her for some cool animal content too. This is a baby tegu, which is a species of large lizard native to South America. They are sometimes kept as pets and are known for their high intelligence. They are omnivores, but tend to become more predatory as they age. This little guy will grow to be about 4 feet long. This animal right here is a Danube-crested newt. Newts are a type of salamander that are semi-aquatic. This means that they alternate between aquatic and terrestrial habitats, or live in both land and water. Similar to frogs, they undergo metamorphosis and start out as larvae but then grow legs later on. This is a baby albino ball python. Although he's only a couple months old, they can live into their 20s on average, some even reaching up to 60. They grow up to 4 to 6 feet, males being smaller than females. This is a Gila Monster, the only venomous lizard native to the United States. Although its venom is not as dangerous as a rattlesnake's, it's said to be much more painful. However, it's known to be sluggish and rarely bites humans. This is a baby blood python flicking its tongue. Snakes do this as their sense of smell. Basically, they're tasting the air to see where the scents are coming from. The reason that their tongues are forked is so that they can tell which direction a scent is. Check out the rattle on this snake. This diamondback rattlesnake's tail has specialized scales that knock together when it shakes. This guy right here is an ambassador animal, and he's used to teach kids about snakes. This is a reticulated python, the world's longest species of snake. This beautiful girl right here is an albino, which is a type of morph. She's still growing and is yet to reach her adult length. The longest reticulated python on record was over 22 feet. Would you cuddle up to this cutie? When you go outside to feed ducks, please don't feed them bread. Ducks have a varied diet ranging from fish and snails to aquatic plants and vegetation. Instead, try feeding them peas, lettuce, or chopped veggies. Ducklings like this one will thank you. So which is it, bison or buffalo? I saw this bison at Yellowstone National Park. You can tell because of the tiny horns, the hump on its back, and its beard. This is a Cape buffalo I saw in South Africa. Large horns, no hump, no beard. Have you ever got cut in your eye? You can't always see it, but it definitely hurt. Well, it turns out the same thing can happen to your pet. Veterinarians will use green eye drops to stain the eyes, and then they'll use a blue light to visualize it even better. This is when I did it on Leopard Gecko. This is the American Kestrel. It's the smallest falcon in North America. Don't let its small size fool you though. Although it only gets as big as a dove, it can take down prey as big as squirrels, bats, or even snakes. What do you think, cute or scary? Reason's poison dart frogs make great pets. They're really cute when they eat flies. They make your room sound like a rainforest. And they carry their tadpoles on their backs. Hey guys, this is Evander, my Ackee Monitor. As you can see, he loves eating his dubia roaches. Because of their small size, I think they make some of the coolest pet reptiles.
It is kind of swishing back and forth. Is it a 4-chambered heart? You hear very distinct sounds.
This isn't your average crocodilian. It's a critically endangered gharial. They're some of the rarest reptiles in the world. They're native to India, and their long, narrow snouts are specially adapted for catching fish. I was lucky enough to see these during my externship at the Fort Worth Zoo, one of the only zoos in the United States that have this rare species. This is a Tokay gecko owned by my friend Cockatiel. These geckos have a reputation for being aggressive and hard to handle, but can be rewarding to a dedicated reptile keeper. They are native to Asia and are a nocturnal species. They are arboreal, which means they must have an enclosure that is taller than it is wide to allow for climbing. I recommend as big of an enclosure as possible, but at least 20 gallons. Some reptile keepers prefer paper towel substrate because it is easy to clean, while others prefer dirt mixes or sphagnum moss as they maintain humidity well. Humidity should be kept between 60 and 80%, and good ventilation with the screen is a must. If you're not able to spray down the enclosure multiple times a day, I recommend a humidifier or automatic misting system. Optimal temperatures should range between 80 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, a basking spot of 90 degrees, and a nighttime drop between the mid-70s. Their optimal diet consists of insects such as dubia roaches, crickets, and superworms that have been gut-loaded with leafy greens, vegetables, and fruit, and then dusted with calcium. Here we are taking an X-ray of a blue-tongued skink. X-rays in reptiles can be very useful for assessing for respiratory disease, intestinal disease, and even bone disease, just to name a few. Fortunately, this skink owned by my friend Lisa's Lizards has no abnormalities on the X-ray. If you love reptiles, be sure to follow her for some fun reptile content. This Aldabra tortoise might be quiet while eating a banana, but they sound a little bit different when saving their species. This is a cat gecko, a rare gecko in the pet trade owned by my friend Cockatiel. It is commonly called a cat gecko because of its habit of curling up with its tail around itself when it sleeps, similar to a cat. Unlike many other geckos, they have eyelids and do not have toe pads, but, similar to cats, they have retractable claws. They are thought to be very primitive geckos, are primarily insectivorous, nocturnal, and prefer a cool rainforest habitat. I got to meet this beautiful blue-throated macaw during my veterinary externship at Texas Avian and Exotic Hospital. Her name was Lilo, which I thought was absolutely adorable. Before her parents rescued her, she was eating a diet consisting of only human food, a big no-no. She's fully flighted and even came with her own matching harness. We always recommend keeping your bird's flight feathers intact when possible. Flying is not only essential to their physical health, but their mental health as well. You can follow her and her other bird siblings at Science Circus. In my opinion, the Fiji banded iguana is one of the most striking iguana species. Unfortunately, however, it's endangered and rarely seen in the wild. I got to see this one during my externship at the Fort Worth Zoo, where they have a species survival plan in place. Hopefully we can save this beautiful species. The Gabon viper has fangs that are 2 inches long, the longest of any snake. It can reach lengths of 6 feet, which makes it the largest true viper in the world. The West African species has elongated scales on its nose, giving off the appearance of horns. An interesting fact is that females give live birth to young rather than laying eggs. These are Galapagos tortoises, and they love getting their heads and shells scratched. Tortoise shells have many nerve endings and blood vessels, making it possible for them to feel through their shells. This species here is a Galapagos tortoise, the largest species of tortoise in the world. The largest one on record was 919 pounds, and the oldest one lived to be 177 years. I got to meet these friendly giants during my veterinary externship at the Dallas Zoo, where conservation efforts are currently underway. Would you boop this friendly snoot? For World Giraffe Day, I'm going to show you how veterinarians dart, immobilize, and relocate giraffes in South Africa. Because these are wild animals, we have to start by darting them from a helicopter. Once the giraffe is sedated and goes down, we perform the full physical exam and any treatments it may need. The giraffe is blindfolded and its ears are plugged so it can avoid any outside stimulation. With a system of ropes, we're able to gently guide it onto the transportation vehicle. Giraffes are endangered, and these 2 animals were being relocated to a different park to help spread their genetics. This is my Antilles pink-toed tarantula, also known as Carabina versicolor. This tarantula is a common spider pet because of its docile nature and beautiful coloration. Spiderlings start off blue and then become more green, pink, and purple as they age. Antilles pink-toed tarantulas are arboreal, which means they live in the trees. They spin elaborate funnel webs in which they spend most of their time. An interesting fact is that in naked mole rat society, a female queen is the head of the colony. Due to intricate hormones, the queen is the only one in the colony that can reproduce. The other females help care for the pups. When one queen dies, another female in the colony is able to mature and take her place. Make sure to follow for more fun animal facts.